All right, so I got 9 minutes. I don't know why I need to delete shit. I guess to add more data on my phone. But when I was in that mental hospital, this is part two. Excuse me. There's a bomb underneath that bed I was in. That first room to the right. So feds and higher ups send everything right now as soon as you get the message. Make sure nobody takes objects out of that mental hospital without checking. And send a bomb squad in that fucking facility that I was in. The first floor, the fifth floor, the fourth floor, fourth and fifth floor. And check the first rooms to the right. Because they got bombs in that fucking inside the bed frames, bro. And these are the size of little refrigerators, or maybe two size of the little refrigerators. And they're like the ones from Die Hard. That movie with Bruce Willis, when he's in that ship and they just start bubbling. And the more closer the timer gets, it starts bubbling. Well, that's the way it was when I was, supernaturally fighting these evilness in this world. So the more I fought, the more the bed would shake, and I'll be like, I'm a motherfucking G. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, fuck, this motherfucker's about to explode. I better pull back. I would feel that bed shake like a fucking volcano. Like I was laying on top of a volcano in an earthquake put together. And I felt the whole hospital shake. So it might be bigger than what the fuck I'm even saying. For the whole hospital to feel like that? Bro, put on your bomb fucking clothes, your bomb suits, and the best of the best people in there. And make sure nobody goes in, out without checking their boxes and, because there's bombs in that motherfucking mental hospital. There's bombs in that bitch. And they got chemicals, high flammable chemicals, because they were going to bomb that hospital while I was in that bitch. They said, you want to keep pushing, you want to destroy America, nigga? Alright, we going to keep your ass in here. And I was gonna be the only one left. They were already planning on me keeping me there with just drips of water. They were gonna leave me there, and they said, you got, depending on how, if you keep going the way you're going, within 2.5 weeks, you're gonna rule America. And I said, I know I am. I know. I said, it might be a week and a half if I keep going at it real hard every day. They're like, we know. But it's gonna be a week and a half to 2.5 weeks. These are the Illuminati's telling me this. But you gotta understand, we're gonna put you through hell. This ain't gonna be easy, dog. You think you're going through hell right now? Poisons foods and shots, and trying to draw bloods out of you and shit like that, and spiritual attacks, and you can't sleep right, and all this shit. Imagine not taking showers. Your sink's only gonna be dripping water, drips at a time. So that means I would have to survive. They were giving me papers how to survive with no radios, with no TVs, just pure silence, with no other soul to talk to for 2.5 weeks, stuck in a mental hospital with nothing but demonic spirits in there. I mean, that shit was eating me up. I was like, fuck, Rich, are you really down to do this shit? And I was I'll do anything for God, my kids, my people, right? Anything. But I started noticing, as I kept pushing and pushing, as I kept pushing and asking more questions and more questions, I noticed they were gonna pin that shit on me, dog. I was the scapegoat the whole time, dog. And then they're gonna say, after this, you're gonna have to go to the psych ward in Mexico. And you think it's gonna be the same thing like it is here. You ain't never gonna get a break. And I said, fuck this, man. I had to pull all my energy back. I had to love myself. I was already fucking 50%, 40, 60, 75% of my strength was already gone. I had like maybe 25, 15, man, of strength left in my body. I said I can't make it and then go straight to Mexico and then do the same thing over there without eating better and sleeping better and getting my strength back. And I said, Charlie, man, I need to go back home. So I started putting my energy back, loving on myself, taking care of myself, shut up, didn't talk. I just kept to myself. They would ask me, like, I don't know, yeah, I'm okay. No, thank you. I was polite. And they noticed, damn, all right, we're gonna end up discharging him because, damn, we can't hold him in here. He's rolling. No matter what they try to do. And the first time I was in there for like 6-7 weeks, right? About 6-7 weeks. And then the second time I was in there for like 2.5, almost 3 weeks. So that tells you that means I did badass. And I did badass that second time I went in there. Man, only if you knew what I did behind closed doors, which you're gonna find out, people in this world, that I don't bow to shit. But I knew I had to bow to that. I had to bow to that. I had to bow to the fact that they were gonna blow up the whole hospital. I mean, down to the ground. Because there's parts in that hospital that control the city. No, I'm not playing. Like, they got offices in that hospital, computers and shit, that control parts of the city. And then they got underground tunnels in that motherfucker. Full of fucking demonic shit. That hospital is demonic as fuck. And it ain't just the mental hospital people that I'm talking about there. It's that whole hospital is. The lunch, the cafeteria, they poison my food, all kinds of experiments, and then they send the lunch ladies to put the food in the cart, and then the nurses will get the cart and then wheel it up to our facility and distribute the food out to the patients. Of course, the demons would eat the good food, and the angels would eat the sick food, and then I would eat the most nastiest shit ever. And they would poison their food too, and they'll be like, and they would drop it, and I'll look at them like, fuck that, I ain't gonna eat that shit either. And we'll look at each other without saying a word, like, nah, this one's not good, we can't eat it. And they would always leave like one, you got like different sides on the plate, right? They would always leave one untouched. And it was always something little small, so like just enough to keep you alive that day. Enough to get your taste buds, you know what I'm saying? That's all. But you would have to figure it out, like, okay, which one's poison? Which one is not touched? And we'd all look at each other and study each other like, fuck. Okay, this one's alright, cool, and then we'll all eat it. We would always look after each other in there. But I'm about to run out of time right now, and I'm gonna shoot this video out there to the world. And I'm gonna do one more video after this. So I'm gonna do 3 videos today. And the third one is gonna be about in 2 weeks to 3 weeks after this hurricane hits Texas, Mexico, and Louisiana. There's gonna be 2 weeks to 3 weeks after that. There's gonna be one that hits Florida, Georgia, actually 4 hurricanes, and it's gonna hit New York, and then the bottom half of Mexico. And I'll explain later on the next video. All right, 1.